Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, yes, welcome to our next topic. Time now to tackle enhancing efficiency in the public sector through the transformational impact of AI. And who better to give us the latest updates than our esteemed panel. What an incredible panel lineup, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much for joining us. Now, we've got quite a lot to get through and quite a short amount of time. So I wanted to just jump straight in before, we've had those very kind introductions from the MC, so we'll get straight into this. Your Excellency, thank you for being here. Now, the UAE's AI journey, I believe, started about 7 years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong. And in April, we actually saw this year the launch of the Universal Blueprint for AI by His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Crown Prince of Dubai, which is obviously very much at the forefront of citywide AI implementation. So give us a nice update in terms of what Digital Dubai is doing to accelerate AI implementation.
Well, I would like to thank AI Campus to give us this opportunity to shed the light on the digital transformation journey in Dubai. Yes, maybe it sounds that AI has been recently over here, but the journey of the transformation in Dubai and UAE specifically has been there for more than 2 decades. And it's always an evolving story, and we are witnessing the 4th generation of transformation at the moment. So how does this 4th generation look like, and how is this aligned with the blueprint of AI? So at Digital Dubai, our mission is to make Dubai the model city for digital transformation. We are targeting to become among top 3 cities when it comes to digital cities on UN electronic government rankings. We are also targeting to add 100 billion dirham annually to the economy of Dubai, with also an ambition to be among top 5 cities attracting talents, and specifically digital talents. And in the context of this conferences, I would say there's like AI talents to be here and find their home and places in Dubai. And to do that, we work among 7 main pillars, which I would say it's been, I would say, the theme that's been discussed across the day: digital services on the city levels, data and statistics, and the way that we are fueling this transformation and accelerating adoption of AI, digital infrastructure, cybersecurity, and we saw just the launch of AI policy or AI cybersecurity policy. We are looking at digital competitiveness, digital economy, and most importantly is upskilling people. So the digital transformation is also have looked into the way that we are accelerating ourselves and in alignment with AI and artificial intelligence, mainly in 3 ways. Our organization at the moment is looking into the way that we can increase the efficiency of government services and operation. Secondly, we are also looking at how do we make government and city services more productive in an end-to-end journey. Last but not least is how do we have more productive and more insights using AI into the decision-making process of the Emirate of Dubai. And to do so and deliver on this high ambition and mandate, we are very proud to say that we are the only organization within the government has 2 chief AI officers, to show the importance of the I would say the themes that we are working on at this organization, and also to deliver on the number of projects that we have in hand. And as we evolve over here, I would shed more lights on projects and initiatives that we are driving from Digital Dubai.
Wow, I mean, it's so incredible to see just how much progress is being made, and there's so much more to come as well, obviously. Over to Khalid Alrazooqi. Really wonderful to have you here. Now, this is a prime example of AI in use and what exactly you're doing across the city. Now, Dubai Police has been incredibly innovative in this area and has, integrated AI across a number of public safety and operational efficiency options as well. You've got the AMNA app, and you've also there's something to handle traffic accidents as well. So tell us a little bit more about what you've been doing.
First of all, I would like to thank you very much for having me, and we'll give you like a journey what happens in Dubai Police. We started AI in Dubai Police in 2018 when they have announced the Ministry of Artificial Intelligence in UAE. So we have aligned our vision with the strategy of UAE and with the other aspects regarding the police force. So the crucial element is once you have a clear vision and a strategic map, well, we have established from 2018, and we have a forecast to accomplish by 2033. And during that era, we have working very hard, and first of all, to re-engineer the process, the operations in Dubai Police. Second of all, also to send our police officer to study abroad regarding AI. And we are proud that we have our team is here. They already graduated, specialized in AI. The other aspect, we have a blessing from the leaders, the commander-in-chief, and as you know that the government UAE, they are so focusing and to have the best practice to build the country and Dubai to be the safest city in the world. A lot of accomplished which we have injected AI in all our operations. For instance, the customer service. That's why we have built currently 26 smart police stations across Dubai managed by 0 police officers. The other part we have also established is to put an AI in for the criminal investigation, patrolling the areas, forensics, you name it. All those subjects we are so keen to implement it gradually. A lot of failures happens when you implement all, the project of AI at once. You're gonna fail. That's why you have to move it very slowly. You have to check all the aspects regarding the data, the accuracy of data, the infrastructure, the security aspects. So once everything has been accomplished, then you have a clear vision to implement it.
I mean, that's a huge job because, you're managing a whole city and everyone has a completely different, diverse need as well. So to manage all of that really, really is incredible to see how you're implementing that. So to David Tan, thank you for coming in all the way from Singapore. Wonderful to have you here. Now, JTC Corporation is under Singapore's Ministry of Trade and Industry. So tell us a little bit more about JTC's role as a government agency in industrial master planning and development, and sort of how does AI affect the government's efficiency in providing physical infrastructure? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Thanks. Well, firstly, thank you very much for inviting me to speak at this distinguished panel. Firstly, as what Laura has highlighted, we are actually a government agency under the Ministry of Trade and Industry. We actually are a master planner, a master developer, as well as a valuable partners for all the economic activities in Singapore. So we work very closely with economic agencies to bring investments into Singapore, as well as to so-called grow our local enterprises within Singapore. What are some of the things that we do and use AI for? We look at AI in the whole built environment, from the planning, to the design, to the construction, to the customer relationship management, as well as to the operations and maintenance of our facilities and our industrial facilities. And in all these areas, we use AI to basically improve our efficiency, our productivity, make our estates a lot more efficient and sustainable, hoping to achieve net zero in time to come. We do have set ourselves a net zero target to achieve net zero in our industrial estates by 2045. And we are using AI to see how we can actually achieve that. One of the ways that we are looking at is really how can we take data from the various sensors and devices from the various buildings that we have and analyze the data using AI because as you have heard early on speakers talking about how AI can be used to do mundane things, how AI can make things a lot more autonomous. But we are trying to use AI to really see how we can improve efficiency, improve productivity, and at the end of the day also help us to reduce costs. Thank you.
Very, very interesting indeed. We're going to be hearing a little bit more about that in just a moment as well. But first and foremost, over to Demetris. Wonderful to have you here all the way from Cyprus. Now, we hear analysts talking a lot about the impact of AI on citizens in the public sector. So as a policymaker who also acts as the nation's CTO over in Cyprus, how are you seeing AI transforming the citizen experience?
Thank you, Laura, and thank you for having me. Good morning to all. So within the EU, there is a framework that basically encourages and moves towards trustworthy AI that has a human-centric perspective, and that basically is designed to make sure that we always design for and take into consideration our ultimate users, which are the citizens. What we actually care about when we look at, how do we serve citizens is how do we make their life easier in interacting with us from a specific perspective of ease of access, of ease of use, of ease of integrating basically and getting the results and their outcomes done. Now, obviously, from a policymaker perspective, the balance of ensuring digital trust and at the same time not hindering innovation is very, very important. At the same time, what we also want to make sure is that we do take into consideration elements that help us really guide fundamental principles on ethics, on safety, on privacy and data that all come together. Now, when we look at this, the ultimate element there is to really enable or create the enabling factor and platform for the industry and also the public service to really start tailoring solutions that will actually help citizens' lives get much better, right? And the ultimate goal is when we do design a policy or to look at the policy, it's all about helping create that value that will help people interact much faster and not queue up and move into other elements that are opportunity costs.
Thanks so much. It's all about efficiency and ease of use, of course, as well. Your Excellency, back over to you. Now, as the Chief Data Officer of the city, you've been, you've played a very instrumental role over the last 7 years when it comes to Dubai's digital transformation journey. So how do you view the convergence of AI with data science, and what sort of transformational impact do you think these types of technologies are actually going to have on the public service delivery?
Well, there is an important aspect of any transformation, and the characteristic of it that we've seen is it always has a value add, and with that it generates more data. So we've been in from a movement towards cloud services, then to big data solutions, and as the data story has been evolving, there has been more and more need of data science services. And now, of course, with the AI, these technologies are really converging. AI, data science, analytics capabilities. We do have IoT services that are coming in, and also the digital services that we are using in order to digitize city services, and they're coming together. And what's important really in that part is to make sure that the data scientists are really focused to the problems that they are solving. And to create that kind of a focus with a prioritized way in working on that area, what Digital Dubai did is to create a center of excellence, a center of decision excellence empowered with AI. We are looking with our data scientists to identify the sets of use cases that then we are looking into the opportunities. How applicable is it for being an AI use case empowered with data, and to look at the different sets of problems that we are solving in Dubai. What are on organizational level, what are on government level, and what are citywide level issues that we are empowering, and what kind of decisions that it's generating, and where is it really being provided as a product at the end of the day. As we've heard in the panel before, the challenge is the adoption. So to make sure that all of data science and AI services being really adopted, we've launched Dubai Dashboard. So Dubai Dashboard is acting as a central dashboard of the city among 14 different pillars, providing you with accurate, near real-time data about what is happening today, what have happened in the past, and most importantly with AI services, what's going to happen next. So providing you with these predictive services that is in your hand 24/7, in the hand of our decision makers on the highest level, being their highnesses, organization leaders, or people who need city data. We didn't stop over there. We said, it's like generative AI is in our hands, so what do we do with it? Do we wait for decision makers to look at the level of decisions that they need to take, or to develop it using AI? So our AI part within the Dubai dashboard is suggesting and recommending, as it's analyzing data, it's recommending you with source of actions that you need to take. Then a human part comes into it and look what are the best course of action that comes into it. And with that also, we've developed a couple of tools, or a couple of, I would say, engines. We do have Dubai Monitor, where it is actively looking at Dubai's data and the opportunity on how do we really read and understand the current state and moving it into a future where we are better understanding the needs of the people and how do we serve them better. And then the second is Dubai Anomaly. While we are reading, we really don't need to wait if there is any abnormality happening. That gives us, it's acting as an early detector, as an alert system that's providing us alerts on economical alert, social alert, or even in government and the way that we are doing efficiency on it. So all of those activities is really bringing data science at the heart and using artificial intelligence capabilities that is empowered with data.
So interesting, you very much highlighted that human element as well, and the value add, but also someone described AI as very much, being your co-pilot. There's always going to be that human element, it's always going to be directed by people, but interesting to see how you've combined that. Demetris, I wanted to quickly jump back over to you just while we're on this theme. So we spoke a little bit about AI transformation and its impact on citizens, but let's talk about government for a moment. Tell us about the productivity that we can see within government and how it's going to enhance that area as well.
Well, I think His Excellency just highlighted a very beautiful example of how decision or data science couples with artificial intelligence to actually create, I think, an improved process to insight. And I think what we actually need to take into consideration that data is the new oil, but artificial intelligence is the new energy, right? And as we're looking into this, we really need to step back and see and understand that most governments or public sector organizations are dealing with policies and regulations that basically have specific mandates that in one way or another create some certain parts of bottlenecks. Now, technologies like artificial intelligence can help us reduce that in terms of operational cost by either automating, let's say, routine processes or routine interventions, by actually giving us a heads up or giving us analytical insight, predictive intelligence, as was actually highlighted earlier on by His Excellency, helping us, for example, summarize or looking at policies to even prepare things for humans to actually move forward. Now, what we've done in Cyprus, and at least at the Office of the Chief Scientist, is we've actually tested a pilot where we trained employees to actually be able to use advanced artificial intelligence capabilities, and then gave them the opportunity to go and break, for example, processes and come back with recommendations. The actual recommendation set of processes that we could disrupt and make things move faster is impressive. So when we look at the governments or, let's say, public sector organizations, there's improvements that can be done across all areas, be it at specific departmental levels, be it at ministerial levels, be it, for example, at the entire government level, and the opportunity as to how far we can optimize is really untapped. I think we're just scratching the surface. There is an immense potential for us to really identify insights, and we are also looking at, for example, areas where we could use co-pilots or AI personas that are trained LLMs in specific, let's say, type of modular functions, so that they can really help us with, you know, summarizing of policies and really preparing some of the work that then a human needs to look at. And again, I would like to link back to one of the points that His Excellency has pointed out. Bringing a set of recommendations or a set of information that you can actually look at and then make decisions is important, and this is a tremendous area for improvement. So what I would say is tremendous opportunities for optimization, and optimization unlocks new opportunities or new areas where trapped value exists.
Thanks so much. Very quickly over to David, just continuing with this theme. What are some of the challenges that have come up that prevent the government's use of AI in the built environment then, and what are you doing to sort of support them?
Sure. I think firstly is that, you know, the AI will be the future, and one of the key issues is the mindset. The mindset of adopting AI, the fear of adopting AI. I think if we can create a culture that actually AI improves the society, improves the quality of life, reduce costs and improve efficiency. I think that's the first point. The second point is really about data. I think His Excellency talked a lot about the data. It is very important to have very good quality data. Today we have many systems that actually collects many data. The question is, how do we clean these data? How do we put it on a certain platform, whether it's a dashboard or an internal system? How do you make that dashboard or data available for people to run AI models? Because AI model needs data. So without data, you can't actually do AI, basically. And the third thing is that, you know, when you look at smart cities, when you look at smart buildings, or even anything that is smart or smart infrastructure, you need to have data across different systems. So one of the things that we did in Singapore, at least for our organization, is that we actually developed an open digital platform. It's like a system of systems, which allow various systems to talk to each other. So rather than one system, and rather than analyzing one system, we can actually analyze multiple systems. And rather than build one AI model, we can put one AI model that cuts across various systems. So it is AI on systems of systems. And once you can do that, it will provide a lot more insights, because it is not just about one system, but multiple systems. And they are all actually interrelated, interdependent, and we need to really make them integrated. So some of these are the challenges that we are facing.
I'd like to continue with challenges actually. Back to Khalid Alrazooqi. Now, obviously there's a huge issue around security. People can get very worried about it. So how are you balancing the issue of security with the privacy rights of individuals? So it's privacy and security, especially with this increased use of AI when it comes to surveillance and data analytics. How are you balancing that out?
As you know, that in Dubai Police we are so concerned regarding the security, the privacy and ethics. That's why we always following the guidance from Digital Dubai regarding how to use AI in an ethical way. And we are following also the ISO 42101. And we do have an audit from external parties to check how our team are programming and using AI tools. And from internal also in our department, we have an audit. That's why we are, security aspects, privacy is a very crucial point to us. And we are so concerned about it. The big challenge now, we're using AI tools. A lot of them depend on the information which is hosted on the cloud. That's why now we're working very closely with those companies to have hosting all the engine or the data center to be hosted on-prem.
Very, very impressive indeed. And I'd like to actually continue this with you, Your Excellency. And obviously the global concern, it's come up this morning already. I'm sure it's going to come up a lot throughout the next 2 days. But obviously, you know, we've got privacy of individual data, ensuring that there's no bias. So what is Dubai doing to make sure that the AI applications and solutions really are, that are built here in the city, in fact, are ethical and trustworthy? What's happening in that respect?
Well, I would like to zoom out a bit,
Sure.
if you don't mind, because I think, all of the matters that you're discussing at the moment is the governance part of AI. And I think we do have a responsibility of having responsible AI, rather than just implementing AI and then coming into the considerations of the privacy and security or confidentiality of individuals. Dubai has been working over the past 10 years on advancing the, I would say, digital regulations that is needed to be in place, that is enabling the safe use of technology, and AI is one of them. For example, 2015, the launch of Dubai Data Law, mandating and disseminating data within the city for the use of technology, and smartness is really needed to be governed in a way where you do have a standard way of classification of information, access to those information, intellectual property right of that information, and as we go further, new considerations come to the in place. We've advanced that with, I would say, bylaws, and then we've looked into AI. When AI came out and AI started to excel in 2019, we worked on a toolkit. So our regulation really toolkit, or our regulation toolbox, had a toolkit specifically for AI, and we talked about AI ethics. And when we looked at AI ethics, we looked at it from 4 different angles. Areas of inclusivity, fairness, and then we looked into security and confidentiality of data. So those were areas, and instead of providing a hard regulations, we put it in a toolkit and a guide, and also a self-assessment tool, so that every organization can understand their use case, look into the different areas of considerations, and then to come back to them with a set of recommendations that when that use case goes into deployment, it becomes much safer to be used. And today we continue this journey, because it's not enough to put regulation in place. It says, like this is restricted, this is the do's and this is the don'ts. As a digital organization, we do have a responsibility of enabling that regulation. So to do so, we've also last year launched our synthetic toolkit. Synthetic toolkit is one way of addressing the challenges that has to do with the privacy and confidentiality of data. So what do we want to do with that is to use AI itself to generate another version of the original data, preserving the, I would say, or protecting any confidential information behind it, and provide another version which has the same characteristic of the original information, but without touching the privacy of that information. So with that, we still can train more models to build more use cases and have it a bit safer. Now, the question, is the technology that ready today? I think we need to work more into making sure that such technologies are available, so that we have the obligation of 2 things. One, excelling and using the technology, which is AI, and creating social benefits and economical benefits, but also putting it in equivalent importance, the safety and security of it, with tools that are safeguarding this entire process.
That's very good to know, because it's all about, security, and as you mentioned, it's an ongoing process. It's going to be continuing, and we're all learning at the same time, and there's so many different situations that come about and things like that. So an ongoing process, but really, really incredible to see what you're doing. Moving back on to Khalid, I wanted to very quickly touch on collaboration with you, actually, because Dubai is very often seen as a leader when it comes to smart city initiatives, but obviously, speaking to other different governments and agencies and global law enforcement officers as well to share knowledge, I presume is at the forefront of what we need to do as well. So what are you doing in that regard?
Actually, we do have a different way of channels collaborating with the police force in the world. One of them is through the conferences. So the other part is direct face-to-face, so we have a lot of gathering meeting regarding this topic. And as you know that on a yearly basis we have the largest World Police Force Summit, where we are hosting all the police force, and we have a specialized track where they're talking about AI and the challenges that we're facing. not a matter of service, even to prevent all kind of crime using AI tools.
Yeah, these events are incredibly useful. They really are. So Demetris, I wanted to just quickly ask you your last question. So having had the opportunity, because you very much have worked here in Dubai for a number of years and now in Cyprus with a mandate of transforming the nation's digital agenda, what are the key lessons and best practices that you're leveraging? And are there any sort of lessons learned as well from this side of things?
Thank you. So when recalling my time that I've spent here in Dubai, I was always amazed by the extensive focus on citizen happiness and actually making Dubai a very citizen-friendly city to live in. Particularly inspiring to see, for example, the ministries of happiness, the smart services that are rolled out, or even the, let's say, the actual barometer of, you know, measuring, for example, happiness, which is a very, very important lesson. What you don't measure, you cannot really improve. So it's very important to really measure and look out how you're continuously improving towards a direction. And I think it was a point mentioned earlier on. A second learning that I actually recalled when I was actually looking at hearing the earlier presentation of His Excellency the President of Emirates. AI is our partner, right? Many of us feel the fear or are worried about how it's going to transform the industry and how it will really reshape the work. But in reality, if we zoom up, right, and we go up and we really consider it as a partner, and we start thinking about what are those use cases that we could really start implementing to make, you know, citizen lives much easier. And I think, again, this is another learning from Dubai when I recall actually the mobile apps and interacting with the government. It is really moving to that direction very, very fast, and that's actually an area that many of us in the rest of the world can actually take. So the second is, as we said, you map all the journeys, but then you have to worry about something that is very important, and I think fellow panelist David here has actually highlighted it, right? The source of training any model and how accurate a model will be comes back to the data. Making sure that we have, you know, quality data, that the data basically is cleaned and is actually appropriate, not biased, will actually help us train the model and really bring, you know, that specific, let's say, value that we also want to have the models to adhere to. Moving on to my fourth point, I would actually highlight the governance, right? So it's very important for us to have a holistic framework of how we look at, you know, this technology and how we start phasing it into helping us re-engineer or, let's say, adapt to what the customer experiences are. So being able to really develop, bearing in mind, you know, traceability, transparency, the ethics, being able to develop, being able to, let's say, have that governance framework that can really control, you know, what will go wrong when it goes wrong. So basically that cycle of having artificial intelligence augmenting a human process so that we can really analyze, learn, and continue to evolve is very important. This actually reinforces what we saw earlier on, which is also a very good part that we see here in the UAE continuously. The plan is on an annual basis, right? Every year, when you actually look at AI and the learnings and you really evolve around what use cases, what actually you can, where you can unlock trapped value, you really unlock a lot of efficiency. Now, the last point that I would actually mention, which is a lesson learned, and I think this is looking at, you know, both private organizations and also public sector organizations having challenges. We talk about AI, but most of the time we think of generative AI and a chatbot, right? AI is not only a chatbot. There's many, many different technologies that are in there. But what I have actually started looking at is how do I design the future, let's say, frameworks where we actually start building framework intelligence or smart application intelligence that is going to be the anchor and, let's say, the CPU until we can really move forward. So AI is very new. We don't know where we will be in 5 years' time. Building slowly this type of capabilities that really keep us aligned to the ethics, the traceability is important. And through the smart applications, we can really start making sure that not only do we pass this productivity and the service to the customer, but we're also helping all of our citizens in the public service, the public servants, to actually become much more productive and to also have a better balance between work and life. Thank you.
Very good advice there. Now, Demetris just touched on, the rolling of government, and I wanted to ask you actually for your last question, David. How major of a role should government play in all of this, do you think, especially when it comes to the deployment of citizen-centric AI solutions? Is it a top-down approach? Do they play the biggest role?
Well, in our Singapore's experience is that I think governments are enabler of adoption of AI to improve citizens' livelihood, lifestyles, and so on. So in Singapore, we've actually developed the Punggol Digital District. It's a 300,000 square meters of real estate space, very much integrated with the one of our university called the Singapore Institute of Technology. So what we truly believe in is really to create a collaborative ecosystem. It's an ecosystem where it comprises not only the government agencies in cybersecurity, in AI, and so on, and the industries involved with the various development of AI and cybersecurity, and also the university, the academia. So it is a collaborative ecosystem we're trying to develop. The second thing we're trying to develop is really provide the right infrastructure, whether is it the physical infrastructure or the non-physical infrastructure. So I highlighted the point that we try to put systems together. So one of the infrastructure that we provide is the open digital platform, which allows various systems to interact with each other so that you can actually run AI models over a system of system level. And my last point would be, we need to create an environment where it is like a living lab. Companies can come in and test, can do prototypes, AI model, can use various use cases and test it out, right? Whether test it out within the district that we have developed, the Punggol Digital District, or whether to test it in Singapore or around the world. But really provide a space, a living lab where companies and industries and government can come together to do sandboxes, to test out things and make it work and then deploy it outside the test bed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right, we just have a couple of minutes left, but I'd really like to get all of your key messages across. If there's anything you'd like to leave our audience with today, or if there's anything you'd like them to take away, what would that be when it comes to enhancing public sector efficiency through AI?
Should I start?
Yes, please.
I would say this, if you haven't already, it's really important to get started to understand the whole life cycle of how getting AI around human and being human-centric. So getting started is the main step towards taking and addressing the next steps that are really necessary in order adopting AI into the implementations that is needed to be taken within any organization and within the government, within any government. And I think there are four main roles you need to look at, which is really important. One is what regulations I need to put in place, so the regulatory role. Another has to do the technology side. As much as we are fan and love of technology, it's not the only way of addressing AI. You need to look at regulations, technology, and then you move into, I would say, identifying the value that you want to drive from here and looking into how do you really create that value and how you make it, I would say, in a systematic approach, adopted and accelerated into its implementation. Last but not least, we need to look into, I would say, ethical manners of AI, and with that operating model, I'm sure there will be great implementations, and we see next time this year a lot of use cases that are really changing and are empowering people.
Very, very well said. Thank you so much. Khalid Alrazooqi, your final key message, please.
Well, actually, we're so lucky to living in this era. We have, it's a good opportunity. Let us using those kind of tools and enhance the service to the people, to increase the safety, to be the smartest city. There's a lot of challenges, let us face it. Don't close your doors and you're waiting the others till they implement it. Go and take your challenge. Fail is not a problem. And believe me, you're gonna be happy once you implement those kind of tools to increase the happiness of the people living in your area.
Very well said. David Tan.
Well, AI is to come. We will need to adopt AI for the whole value chain of activities that we are doing, whether it's in planning, whether it's in law enforcement, whether it's in construction. I think AI can be used for all these opportunities. It's important to provide the right data, so that the AI models can run on these data. And I think lastly is really to provide, like what Dubai is doing, right? Provide a collaborative ecosystem, put in the necessary infrastructure to support AI, as well as making the space suitable for businesses and industries and the academia to come together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The last 20 seconds, Demetris, over to you.
Build or form a team that basically is trained, give them synthetic data around the problem you want to solve, and ask them to challenge basically the norms. Ask them to really think out of the box on use cases that can really unlock truck value. Once you have that, ask the same team to actually think about the regulations and how they're implemented. Once you have those answers, then think about the pilot. And as we said, failure is actually stepping up again to really try. So failure is something that leads us to learnings. Thank you.
Very good advice there, and some incredible strides being made when it comes to enhancing public sector efficiency through AI. We cannot thank you enough for sharing so openly with us. Your Excellency, gentlemen, thank you so much.